Hey legends, welcome to the live stream. I want to let you know exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight and how it came about. There's been a lot of photos going around with the symbol that it's okay, it's okay to talk, and it's all about showing and putting forward the awareness around suicide prevention in men, and letting people know that it's okay to talk up if you've got problems in your life. How are you, Tammy? Good to have you on live. All about, it's okay for men to speak up. It's okay if I'm feeling anxious, or if I've got, tonight we'll be talking about addictions, because they're my personal experiences with alcohol and gambling. So it's all about that. And I see so many pictures going around, and I ask myself, how many of those men that are sharing those pictures have put their hand up to ask for help? Or, how you going, Grace? How you going, Aiden? Good to have you here, Stuart. Mitch, nice. How many of them actually do ask for help, or have in the past? See, it's one thing to say that it's okay to ask for help, but I share with you from a real personal point of view. When I was struggling, like in a bad place, drinking 6-7 nights a week, gambling over $1,000 a week into the pokie machines, like, hell no, I was not asking for help. I was not going to take on another problem and tell someone I wasn't who I wanted to be. I had to make sure that people saw me in the light of the reality that I was creating for myself. Now, that's a quick introduction of where we're going to be going. To give you a heads up, I want to let you know there's a rule to the game. If you're going to follow on and if you want to keep listening, how are you going, everyone? I can see everyone joining on. I won't mention all your names. Champion, thanks, Jimmy. Love it, mate. If you're going to be here on the live stream, I'm talking now open, honestly, and present, talking from my heart, not my head, where I used to talk. And because of that, you might come across some what society might call colourful language. So if you're not happy with those words, or they might offend you, just jump off the live stream now. No offense taken. I'm here to talk seriously about it's okay to talk. And as you've noticed, I want to take it a next step further, which is kind of, there's the it's okay to talk. And I had this thought that, it's personal, but a lot of people were telling me, when I did start to tell people that I had either an addiction to drinking or gambling, I heard it a lot, like, it's okay to talk. You can go to AA, you can go to Gamblers Anonymous. You can come and see my coach. Like, it's okay, it's okay. This real nurturing kind of energy. And as a young 22-year-old man, I took that on as more of a problem. Like, I wasn't good enough, I needed help. So I've come up with a new hashtag, and it's strong men talk. Positively, it's strong men talk. To really break down the barrier that men can't ask for help or can't embrace, what you might associate to feminine energy or vulnerability. And break that down, like, seriously. What is an addiction? How you going? Good to have you here, guys. Great, a lot of people on the call at the moment. This is awesome. Not just talking about my story and how I experienced addictions, but I want to give you the top 3 steps to creating lasting change. And the mission, if you're wondering why I'm doing this live stream, is to know that one person out there, and there could be right now, I think I've got about 1,600 Facebook friends, so I'm being pretty vulnerable and putting myself out there for potentially 1,600, not 16,000, 1,600, 1,600 people could be watching this live stream. And I'm happy to do that because I've created that change. So I'm not saying I expect anybody to do what I'm doing. What my mission is for this live stream, I want to know and just have the certainty within myself. I don't need to see the results, but to know that one man out there, or woman if you choose, step up and ask for some help. That's it. That's all I want to do this for. To know that I can change one life by backing myself up with what it is that I say. So, what is an addiction to begin with? Yeah, Tom, thanks, mate. Paul, the F-bomb is well above the line language. Yeah, nice. Thanks. Sorry about the interruptions here, guys. I'm just tapping into who's commenting and who's liking. Awesome. I got over 25 people on the call already. So, what is an addiction? I want to break it down to the meaning that I associate to addiction, which really helps me create change, not just for myself, but for clients as well. And I believe an addiction is any behavior or thought pattern or kind of routine that you do over and over that prevents you from living the life that you want to live. So what do I mean by that? Personally, You know, when I left school, I was so comfortable with drinking alcohol. In fact, my thing was drinking alcohol. So before I knew it, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, even 22, I was drinking about 5-6 nights of the week. And I wasn't just drinking, I was drinking in excess. I was drinking until 6 a.m. And I created my friendship groups around those individuals because I chose to. And why did I do that? Because I was comfortable with it. And from that, I took on another addiction, which was gambling, because along with pubs and clubs and things like that, there's a lot of poker machines. So I found what's called connection, not only through drinking, but if I didn't have my mates around, I still felt connected if I would go and, while I was drinking, play the poker machines. So there's a lot that does go into addictions, but at the end of the day, I believe an addiction is any behavior, thought pattern, anything that you do over and over which prevents you from living the life that you want. So what do I mean by that? We're going to be talking about alcohol addictions. We're going to be talking about gambling addictions. We might even be touching base on having an addiction to feeling anxious or being in an anxious state, having an addiction to being in a depressed state, having an addiction to being angry. Whatever the addiction is, whatever you're watching, whoever's watching this right now and is some way kind of nodding their head along going, wow, this guy's being real, I'm feeling this, I do something like that, or that some behavior that gets me the results that I don't want in my life, then this video is for you. So stick with us. I'm here with you right now, yeah? It takes two to tango. There comes a point in your life, I think, where you either stack up enough pleasure in order to create change, or more often than not, when it comes to, I think, drinking and gambling, you stack up enough pain to create change. So, as I shared with you, this was a kind of a give back because so many people wish me well wishes and happy birthday and things like that, and were acknowledging me for the change that I've created over the past 24 months. And that change pretty much means I let go of drinking and gambling addictions in the way that they don't hold me back in life anymore. It's certainly not the way that they used to. And from that, now people are seeing who I really am. Because I clouded who I really was by taking on addictions because of fear, because of I didn't want to embrace vulnerability. I didn't want people to look at me and think, oh, Tommy Cartwright, he's not funny, he doesn't get on the piss anymore. Like, I just didn't want that because I thought my thing in life was to drink, was to gamble. I didn't have a vision, I didn't have passion or purpose. I was working in a career that I didn't really like. So yes, I was excited for the weekend. Yes, I was excited to go out every night when I finished work I was working in hospitality. I finished work at 5 a.m. I would go out till 7 a.m., get pretty pissed, go to bed, wake up at 3 p.m., have McDonald's, and then get back into work. And I just did it over and over and over and over again. And I know so many people watching this video right now, as they listen to me talk, are saying, fuck, I'm doing that as well. It might not be the exact same situation. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe you're working in the corporate world. Maybe you're not in hospitality, but you're not liking your job. And you keep having conversations with yourself about like, oh, could I do something else? Oh, no, I'm not too sure. Or could I do something else? Or I'm not too sure. So you keep going into the job. You're not liking the job. And at the end of the day, you're in like a shitty mood. Whatever it is for you. But at the end of the day, you want something more. And that's so freaking cool. It's so awesome. So what I did in life was stack up so much pain that I had to kind of create change. And I hope that you don't get to that point. Or if you are, I hope you make a decision right now to make some change. Hey Mads. Hey Shani. To create that change. So what I did was I knew I wanted more for myself, but I didn't know how to do that because I didn't believe in myself. So what I did was I drank more and more and gambled more and more. Yeah, because I didn't know how to do the other thing. I'm talking now as if I still don't know, right? I know now, but I'm taking myself back to maybe where you're at. You don't know how. The thing is, with the word how, so many of you, and certainly me, I was stuck in the how. How do I not drink? How do I not gamble? It was like, how do I not do this? How do I live? I just didn't even know. So I was so stuck in the how that I forgot or never even tapped into why I didn't want to be drinking that much or why I didn't want to be gambling that much. And I'm going to be really honest with you. When I say I was gambling a lot, I was getting paid about $950 a week. I was gambling $1,200 a week into the poker machines. So I took on, by 22, I had like, 10, 20 grand debt, probably 20 grand debt, which was pretty serious, right? And I knew it was just going to keep increasing if I didn't overcome this stuff. So what I did at the time was, which ended up being one of the best decisions of my life, but at the time was a massive escape mechanism. I took one of my best buddies and we flew overseas, and we flew to Whistler, right? And that was me escaping the reality that I wasn't enjoying. But the funny thing was, the way I escaped it was by going overseas to do the exact same thing I was doing, but even more drinking. Now I felt really good. I was lucky because they don't have poker machines in Whistler, right? I think it's pretty funny. Now I do, right? I think it's pretty funny. I was like, oh great, I can't play the pokies. And when I was overseas in Whistler, because I was taken outside of my reality, I was able to look back into the world that I was living. So when I was overseas in Whistler, I realized what I missed. And the things I missed weren't drinking, weren't partying with mates. The things I missed were hanging out with my family. The things I missed were spending Christmas and Easter and public holidays down at Doyle's with my family. The things I missed were playing touch footy. The things I missed were going to the gym. The things I missed were going out on my jet ski, spending the day on the harbour, things like that. And what I realised was, wow, those are the things I value. So it was pretty hard for me to come back from Whistler and go back into the same routine that I had before, because I now had the awareness of what was actually going on. So I had to step out of my reality to look back into the reality to realize that I actually had a fucking problem. But then what happened? I came back and I got straight back into it. So I got straight back into hospitality. I started working. Hey going? Hey guys, good to have you here. So I got straight back into the reality that I was living because it's what I knew. I knew how to do that. So that's what's called your comfort zone. I tell you right now, whatever addiction you're doing is inside your comfort zone. And the reason why you haven't solved the problem or overcome the addiction is because you're trying to do it whilst in your comfort zone. Now let that sink in for you a bit. No growth happens inside your comfort zone. Whatever you're comfortable at right now, that's in your comfort zone, and no growth is going to happen here. So all growth happens outside your comfort zone. So what does that mean? To change, to grow, to overcome your addiction, you're going to have to be okay with feeling uncomfortable in the beginning. So let me break that down for you a little bit. The moment that I realized I had to change was when I realized I stopped doing the things I enjoy. Yeah, I even stopped hanging out with my mates and going to the footy. And one of my family members noticed and kind of was like, oh, you know, I think you need to speak to someone. You're getting like down, you're getting depressed, or do you not like your job, or things like that. And I was like, what? Just fuck off, like go away. You know, and that's how I was feeling, and that's how a lot of you might be feeling right now if you've got drinking or gambling addictions at all, because the last thing you want to do is ask for some help. Like, let's be honest. Well, that's certainly what I didn't want to do, was ask for help. So what happened was I was in such a bad place, and from my family members saying that I didn't seem happy, and being me, anybody that knows me like would say I'm a very happy, uplifting, motivating guy, not just now from what I do as a coach, but even before that would say that. But I was living with my own, what I call demons. How you going, Ash? Tom, how you doing? So I was living with my own demons, which is the scariest thing of all, living with something that no one else knows about, that's holding you back. It sucks so much, and I'm with you if you're feeling stuck, or if it's just repetitious behavior, if you're in the career that you're just hating, if you're in the relationship that you don't like anymore, but you're stuck because of fear, like keep listening. I'm going to give you the 3 quickest ways to move forward. So, yeah, as I said, I got back from Whistler, right, and when my family members were noticing that I wasn't right, I wasn't enjoying myself, I realized, shit, I think I'm getting to a pretty bad place. So what I did was, you know, I felt so awkward and so nervous, but I went and had coffee with my best friend, and I sat down with him, and I was so awkward about it. I was like, mate, I think I've got a drinking problem and a gambling problem. And he was like, it's funny, eh? Yeah, we get so pissed all the time. And I said, yeah, pretty funny. And I said, no, seriously, I think I've got some issues, right? That's how I labeled them. I was like, I've got some issues. And he was like, yeah, I think we, you know, yeah, maybe. And I'm not going to go on about what he said or she said, but that was the first moment that I kind of asked for help. In my own way, I asked for help, right? And after that, it was about a week after that, you know, my mum said, oh, you know, do you want to come and see someone? I feel like you're partying a lot and you're not really happy with your career, and, you know, And I knew so much more than that, right? She didn't even know I was in 20 grand debt. Like, so I was like, oh shit, that's way worse than what you know, mum. But I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I put my hand up and I asked for some help. And fast forward 4 years, I've been through my own journey and got over all my shit, and I now own a pretty successful, very successful coaching practice where I change the lives of heaps and heaps of young men and women to achieve what it is that they want. So what are the 3 keys to creating that change? And we will go back into that journey. I will share with you what happened there. Thanks, Lee, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, you did share a lot of those issues, man. I appreciate your support through the whole journey. You're a fucking legend, brother. I love you. I won't mention your name. So what are the 3 keys to creating change? The first step is to create a compelling vision. There's still like 30 odd people on this call, which is awesome. Most of you want this stuff, right? Because you like truth. You rather hear, this is the cool thing, you rather hear it from someone that doesn't tell you how to live your life, just says, this is where I was in a bad way, a painful way. I spent tens of thousands of dollars into investing in myself and time to creating the change. And even then, I didn't take on any paying clients with my coaching practice until I'd made sure I'd overcome my drinking and gambling problem. And then when I was walking the walk, I started to talk the talk and I made sales, and now I'm working with clients on this stuff. Now, I'm not saying I don't drink anymore. I never gamble anymore. That's not the case. I still go out with my mates. I love to have a beer, right? I don't go out every night. I don't go out and get sloshed. I don't put all my money in the pokies until I've got nothing left. Like, it's just a whole nother ballpark. And the reason being is I put my hand up and asked for some help. And one of the scariest things for that was I thought that if I was going to put my hand up and ask for help with a drinking issue, that person was going to take drinking away from me. And when drinking went away from me, my friends went away from me. And that was just no fucking way. I was like, I'm not doing that, right? I'm not losing my friends and all this stuff. So the 3 keys to start for you to overcome your addiction is, number 1, create a compelling picture. Create a compelling vision, should I say. I'm just jumping on here to answer some questions. So, and I'm going to be with you. So, creating a compelling vision, what do I mean by that? So often when we've got an addiction going, we're so focused on that addiction. We're so focused on, how do I stop smoking? I've got to stop smoking. I don't want to be smoking. How do I stop drinking? I don't want to be drinking. I can't go out with my mates on the weekend. I don't want this. I don't want that. I can't do this. We're so fixed on how to solve the problem and we forget why. And if we do know why, it's generally only because we've backed up so much pain around that addiction. So the only thing really pushing us forward is heaps of pain. Now, when we think about it like that, that kind of sucks. The only thing pushing us forward is because we feel heaps of pain. Excuse me for 1 second. Thank you. So, create a compelling vision for yourself. Move yourself from feeling the pain to the life that you want to live. And when my coach asked me about this, like, well, what would you get? What do you want to stop drinking for? What do you want to overcome gambling problems for? I was like, I don't know. I just don't want to have shit relationships. I don't know. I don't want to have no money. So I kept focusing on the negatives, and that's what we tend to do. This is some human behavior, personal development stuff I'm getting into now, is what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focusing on your problem all the time, you'll get more of your problem. So every night I'll tell myself, I'm not going to drink on the weekend. I'm not going to drink on the weekend. I'm not going to drink on the weekend. And then Friday came around and I had beer in my hand and I was drinking, and I knew I wasn't coming home till Sunday because I was focusing on the drinking. Even though I'm saying not drinking, I was focusing on the drinking. So when I worked with my coach, we started to develop a compelling vision. And the stuff that started to come out from me when he got me going was, what would you have if you didn't have drinking in your life to the state that you do drink now? Or gambling? And I said, I don't know, I guess I'd have more money. And he said, what else? And I go, guess I'd have more confidence. Why would you have more confidence? I don't know, maybe I'd be in a career that I like. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, to be honest, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Could I do that? And he's like, yeah, fucking oath you can do that, Tom. Once you let go of the things that are holding you back. And that was really amazing for me. That was the first time I started to look at life that I could have if I overcame drinking and gambling. So what I want you to do out there is write down, the first step is create a compelling vision for you. And now here's a simple tool to do that. I want you to, on an A4 piece of paper, write down a full page on what your life would be like if you overcame that addiction. If you let go of that addiction and the way it holds you back, what would you have in your life? Now take note, I don't want to hear, or I don't want you to put down the things that you don't want. So I don't want you to put down with, I won't feel anxiety, I won't feel stressed, I won't feel like I want alcohol, I won't feel like going to the pokies. It's what would you have? So replace it. What's the positive? If you remove a big part of that, or a big part of your life, you're going to create a void. So you need to fill that void with something, right? So what would that be? Fill it with positive stuff. Hey guys, how you going? Great to have you here. So that's it. Create a compelling vision. So a whole A4 sheet of paper, and what would you have? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Ask yourself, where do you want to be? Where do you want to live? What kind of bed would you sleep in? Would you have a TV? No TV? Who would you be with? Would you be with a partner? What kind of money would you earn? Ask yourself these big, bold questions to realize that you've got a compelling vision that you want to go towards. Because if you just want to get rid of your addiction, you don't know why, then I'm going to tell you how it is. It's probably going to come back. Or if it doesn't, you'll pick up another addiction. Because your mind wants to be busy all the time. The human condition is to grow, to do stuff. And if you're not growing in the positive sense, you're growing in the negative sense. What do I mean by that? Like if you haven't played the pokies, but you've got a drinking addiction, you might give up the drinking, but then not fill it with the compelling vision that you want, the lifestyle you want. So all of a sudden, you go to gambling, and you're gambling. So you're growing as a person, you are, because you're learning what gambling's about, and that's taking on new content and learning and getting outside your comfort zone. So you are growing, just not in the way that you want to be. So, yeah, nice, Jimmy. So, yeah, sorry. So with you're always going to be growing, right? So you need to be moving yourself towards that compelling vision. So that's where I would start. That's number one. Have that compelling vision. Now drop the how. Drop how you're going to do it, because this is where number two comes in. Because you've been figuring out how to give up your addiction for so long now. You've been trying to figure out how not to be stressed, how not to have shit relationships, how not to be feeling physically unfit, how not to procrastinate, how not to drink so much, how not to gamble so much, how not to buy cocaine as much, how not to smoke weed as much. All this how. You have to drop it right now, because step two is going to look after that. Step two is have your support network. And what does that mean? It can mean whatever you want it to make it mean. It could mean your best mate. It could mean me. It could mean a coach, a psychologist, a counselor, anybody at all. I'm not going to rule out any other professions because of what I do, because I know anything that you do to create a support network is going to break your strategy of not taking action, right? So what you want to do is, it's okay to talk. Strong men talk, right? I appreciate that you might not be feeling that right now. So you want to make a decision right now to commit to yourself right now as you're watching this to ask for help. Yeah, or tell someone. Now, the reason why I know you want to do that is because the amount of weddings, parties, engagements I go to, and the amount of people that come up to me off their face, what I mean by that is they're highly intoxicated or on cocaine or other drugs or substances, they come up to me and tell me how they don't want to be doing it. The reason why they do that is because when they're on alcohol or drugs, their kind of ego is suppressed, right? Because they're feeling on top of the world. They're feeling like they fit in, they belong, they're just all of this, right? So they think courage shows up, which is really because they're suppressing their ego and fear, which in the moment is why so many of us like to or used to like being high, for instance. I mean, like on alcohol or cocaine, whatever it might be, because you feel kind of fearless and powerful and all that stuff. So many of you come up to me and ask me during weddings, functions, and all this stuff when you're able to be vulnerable, because the fear's not there, so you feel very courageous. You're like, oh, I'm going to tell this guy that, I want what he's got, and I want to overcome that, because I used to bend with you all the time and drink with you 6 nights a week, but now you don't do it, and you've got money, and you've got a relationship, all this stuff. And this isn't my ego talking here. I just want what's best for everyone. So if this is getting on your nerves or it's not what you want, that's fine. This is an addiction. Remember, we're talking about addictions, things that hold you back. If you drink 7 nights a week and gamble $3,000 every week into the pokies, and it seriously doesn't hold you back in any way, and you want to still be doing it, then keep doing it. Not here to tell you how to live your life. Keep rocking on. So, cheers, Jimmy. Love it. So, having the support network. You reach out when you're able to be vulnerable, you're high, and then I give you tips and strategies on how to move forward. Or I say, I'll put you in contact with someone, because I don't work with people that I know very well, but I can put you in contact. I have a great support network in the mental health arena. Throw any problem at me, I'll throw you a possibility. That's a promise. So reach out to me, ask for someone, call the hotline, whatever it is. Now, the thing that holds some of us back in this moment, in this step, is the fact that we believe we are not fucked up enough to ask for the help. I'll give you a clear example. Looking good, Doritos. Cheers, Nick. Love it. So, we believe I'll give you a clear example. When I was gambling and someone told me to go to Gamblers Anonymous, I told myself, you know what? You're not that fucked up. So don't worry about going there. No, you don't do it enough to be there. But the gambling was enough to make me or leave me with nothing in my account. Hey Pat, how are you? So, yeah, CC, thanks mate. So I thought, I wasn't fucked up enough. And a lot of us, I think, tend to feel that way. Or people that I'm talking with, someone just calling through there, so I just had to disconnect them. So I thought I wasn't that bad. But the thing is, if it's holding you back, you don't need to think about it as being really bad. Just tell yourself you want more from yourself and move forward. You don't have to be at that state. And this is why so many of us get to the point of where we can't talk, because we believe that we're not bad enough to get help. So we let it go on and on and on and on and on until we're next level. This is our terms we come up with. We're next level effed, right? And we're like, wow, now my problem's so big, I'm not telling anyone. So it's kind of cycle we put in. So remember, step 1 was create a compelling vision. Now we're on step 2, support network or a person. Have your supportive community, because you know why? You don't have to know how to solve your problem, but you've been trying to figure it out the whole time. Create yourself a vision and grab someone that knows how to. So what do I mean by support network? Find someone that's got the results in life that you want and ask them for help. Do exactly as they did if they got the results, and you will get the results they get. Couple of people commenting. I'm gonna be honest with you here. My old favorite poker machine. That's hilarious, Pat. Good on you, mate. Good to have you, Dean. So that supportive network, right? Find someone that's doing what it is that you want, yeah, that has the results that you want. Let's say you've got an addiction to holding yourself back in regards to money. Find someone that's making the amount of money that you want. Ask them how they do it and how they think. Like, write down the way they think and you'll get that. For example, one of my coaching programs is overcoming drinking in gambling. It's the exact way that I thought and the exact behavior and action I took in order to get the results. And the clients get the results, right? Because it's called modeling excellence. The fastest way to success is find someone, hey Milo, find someone that is doing what it is that you want to be doing and model exactly what they do. It's the fastest way to success, okay? So that's step number 2. Reach out for your support network, because that person that specializes in that area gives you all the how. You've showed up, you've done the biggest step, you've asked for it, and if you work with the right person, you get served the golden goose. You get, hey buddy, here's the how that you and me will work on so you can have the lifestyle that you want. The lifestyle that you want is what you did in step 1 when we talked about creating a compelling future. How are you, Chris? Sonia, good to have you here. You rock too, thank you. So make the decision to tell one person or 2 people. Ask someone. If you want anyone to ask, I tell you right now, it's strictly confidential, and anybody that's worked with me would know that, whether you're a friend or not. Shoot me a private message on Facebook. I'll put you in touch with some people, or one person, or chat with me. Whatever it is that I can do for you. But right now I've just solved one problem for you, which is, who can I tell? And the reason why you can tell me is because I'm sitting on here telling 1,500 people that I used to have massive, massive problems around addictions with gambling and drinking. And if you ever want to stand up and be, they don't hold me back. I'm on the career choice that I'm living the dream. I'm doing what it is that I want to be doing. I'm experiencing the emotions. How Brandon? I'm experiencing the emotions that I want to experience on a consistent basis. Then ask me, because that's what I'm doing right now. But yes, I'm the one that invested tens of thousands of dollars and thousands of hours to change that. And what I've done is create the resources to move you forward. Not in 2-3 years like it took me, but in a matter of months. And please note, this is not a sales tactic. I want you to know that. What that tells you is there's people out there that do what I do. That's why I'm doing what I do, because I found people that did what I'm doing and I followed them. Now I'm an entrepreneur, I own my own business. So I can put you in touch with those people. Whatever it is that you want, I've solved that problem for you, okay? Now step three. Step three is the biggest one to moving forward from addiction. You've created a compelling vision for yourself. You've stepped up and asked someone for help because you know that strong men talk. The third thing is to take massive fucking action. Yeah? A decision is never made unless action is taken straight away. Yeah? Does that make sense? You've never made a true decision unless action was taken straight away. Now let me give you a really clear example, which some of you, a lot of you are going to want to get to with your drinking. And I know this from conversations I've had with a lot of you. So for the first 2 years of trying to overcome, a year and a half of trying to overcome drinking, I never made the decision not to drink, ever. I told myself I didn't want it. I told myself I wasn't going to drink for a month. I told myself I would have waters at the party. I told myself that I would have 2 vodkas and go home. I told myself I had 4 beers and go home, blah, blah, blah. None of it worked because I never made the decision. Then when I had all of the resources I had, I went, sweet, I'm not drinking for 5 months. Because I'm going to prove to myself that it's not me. Yeah, it's a learned behavior that I picked up from many other reasons, which I can talk about: fear, comfort zone, core needs, all that stuff. We can get into that another time. I could be here for hours. So, loving the day to ask for help. Now, just cut out a little bit, so I'm going to rephrase what I was just talking about. Hey Charlie, good to have you here, mate. So taking massive action. Right now, if you're thinking about anything that you want in life that you don't currently have, money, relationships, sex, rock and roll, whatever it is, right? Anxiety-free living. I know someone that I can put you in contact for that, straight up. So any area that you don't have that you want in your life, to the extent that you're like, not kind of, oh, it'll be nice to have. Any of you that are listening to this, like, I literally want that now, like I want it fast. Then take action. Ask for some fucking help. Just find someone that's doing it, or someone that can put you in touch with someone, right? Cheers, thanks for the like, love you guys. So taking massive action is the next step, because you've been thinking about it for so long. You've been getting stuck in the how for so long to overcome your addiction, and you're so sick and tired of it. And that's getting stuck in the how, Kyle. That getting stuck in the how has caused you even more problems. Because now you've got the problem of, I've tried it for so long. I've tried other things and all this stuff. I want you to take massive action now. So 3 steps to overcoming your addiction, the first 3 steps to creating change, yeah? I'm not saying this is going to be the cure, this is going to be the golden goose for you, but to get you on the right path is A, create a compelling vision. Yeah, create a compelling picture on how you want it to be. I'll give you a clear example. So this is what I created when I realized I just had too much drinking, right? So I created what's called a vision board. So I knew I wanted to be happy. I knew I wanted to have a pet when I was older. I knew I wanted to see the world. I knew I wanted to have good family relationships. I knew I wanted to have money because I wanted to buy the materialistic stuff that I enjoy. That's not egotistic. That's saying that you want to work hard to enjoy the stuff that you fucking like. I got a couple of nice cars on there, a couple of dream cars that I want. Like, that's okay. I'm going to work hard for it. And in order to get all of that, I knew there was a couple of things I needed to let go of. One was drinking excessively every fucking night. The second one was putting all my money in the poker machines. So I had a compelling vision. Then there was the support network. I put my hand up and I asked for help. I'm going to let you in on a secret. It wasn't comfortable. I committed to this guy for 3 sessions. I said, you know what? I'll be here for 3 sessions and then that's it. Like, I'm so uncomfortable right now. I don't like this. And then 3 sessions later, I was like, great, this is okay. And then 6 months later, I was like, holy shit, I dropped off out of hospitality. I went on this mission to find out what I wanted to do. I felt uncomfortable the whole time. Just 1 second, I'm gonna plug the phone in because it's out of battery. So, oh wait, Jack. Andrew, good to have you here, mate. Hey, Jenny. So, I'm letting you know I've been where you're at. It's uncomfortable. It sucks. It's not the best thing, okay? But you got to do something that your future self will thank you for later. And it's time you fucking did that. I can appreciate that you may be really good at drinking and gambling and doing bags. Maybe it's your thing. That's okay. As I said, if it's not affecting you, I am being really raw and honest. Thank you so much. So if it's not affecting you, then get off the call. It's not for you. I'm talking to the people that are sick of their fucking shit over and over again. Like, it's driving me insane. Because I want so much more from you. Yeah? Because I've been there and I've come out the other side, and life on the other side is different in a really good way. But you need to trust in yourself that if you back yourself, if you create a compelling future, if you do sometimes the hardest thing ever, which is to ask for help and then take massive action from whatever that help tells you to do or suggests that would be good for you. What he said, thanks guys. You'll thank yourself later for it. Yeah? I've been where you're at. I've experienced the addictions. I've flipped them on their head after countless hours of trying. The biggest thing that created change was creating a compelling vision for myself, which was one day wanting to be an entrepreneur that made $500,000 that changed the lives of 1 million people under the age of 30. When I set those goals and stuff, I was still an addict in regards to alcohol and gambling. But I set those goals anyway because I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do one day. But then straight away my ego came in and says, well, fuck that. You can't do that, mate. You've got a drinking issue. You've got a gambling issue. So that went in the shelf for over a year. That's okay. I still had a compelling vision. It was kind of like a dream world. Like, that'd be cool one day. Yeah, and it's been 2.5 years since all this emotional stuff that I've been talking about today. It's been 2.5 years. Now, in 3 weeks' time, I'm working for myself full-time in a coaching practice that does just that. Changes the lives of heaps and heaps of young men and women under the age of 30. I make really good money for what I do. I work really hard to deliver results to my clients, like really fucking hard. I care so much. My reality is becoming my reality because I created a compelling vision. I stood up and asked for help when it was the last thing I wanted to do. I sat through 3 coaching sessions feeling like shit, feeling like I didn't want to say nothing, feeling like I didn't want to tell him I had a problem. And then I went through over a year of thinking everybody wouldn't like me if I gave up drinking. Yeah, I went over a year thinking everybody wouldn't enjoy me as much if I stopped gambling so much. Everybody wouldn't like me if I wasn't partying as much. And as much as I thought that was kind of happening and true, it's persistence that pays off. So now my reality is the dream that I wanted. Every single person on board that might not have thought I could do it is now on board because I have the results. So commit to yourself. Commit to the change. And when you're ready, you'll make a decision to go a certain period of time without drinking or drink less, whatever it is for you. And it's that period of time that'll tell you, great, you are in control. And that's the first time in your life since you've recognized you had a drinking problem or gambling problem that you'll tell yourself, it's not actually, I'm not addicted. I was choosing to do that. And it's the first time ever you'll take responsibility back instead of giving it to 2 things, which are drinking and gambling in your life, or cocaine, whatever it is for you, or anxiety. It's the first time in your life you'll take responsibility back. And when you take responsibility back, that's the first step to you creating lasting change. Because you can't create the change when you think it's something else. You can't create the change when you think it's the poker machine, or when you think it's the drinking, or when you think it's the cocaine, or it's the dealer that's giving it to you. You can't create change when you're blaming those things. But when you realize you were choosing it the whole time to fulfill your needs and overcome your fears and whatever else, then you're in a position to take back your power. And when you've got your power back, you'll just create the fucking lifestyle you want and just be hungry for it and go after it. Because you're not letting yourself be held back from addictions. Yeah? So 1, create a compelling vision. 2, put your hand up and ask for help. Strongman fucking talk. Yeah, excuse my language. I'm passionate about this stuff. I hope you can see that. I could talk to you all night, but my mission was to impact 1 person's life at the end of this call. For 1 person, just 1, to reach out for help. Doesn't have to be to me. Call someone. If you've got anxiety and you don't want to have anxiety more, call them. If you're making 40, 20, let's just go with 20 grand. If you're making 20 grand a year and you want to make 40. If you're making 100 grand a year and next year you want to make 200 grand a year. If you're in the banking industry and you want to be a property developer and it's not happening for you. If you're in a career and you want to be in a different career and it's not happening for you. If you're a big drinker and you don't want to be drinking as much. If you're gambling, you don't want to be gambling as much. If you feel like you've got a cocaine addiction. If you feel like you've got a marijuana problem. Whatever it is for you, this is the thing. There's no small and large problems in life. It's different for every person. So my problem that I thought around drinking was so big, I know there's people out there that in their head would scale it the same to their problem, but their problem is they're unhappy with work. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter. The longer you let it go on, the more pain you stack up, that's when you end up in the state of possibly depression, because you let it go for so long. So the people with the two different problems end up in the same spot anyway. So create a compelling picture, vision for yourself, step up, ask for some help, yeah, and take massive action. Right after this phone call, take some action. Guys, I've absolutely loved being with you tonight. I hope I've delivered. I trust that I've delivered to you what it is that I wanted to deliver, and remind you that it came from all the birthday love and gratitude I got, and the amount of people asking me how I created the change. And wow, you haven't done a 180 on yourself, you've done a 360. And I thought, if people are noticing that, I'd like more people to notice that. And it's not for me. It's to, I hope you guys know that. This isn't for me. This is for you guys. This is for you. So we can sit down and have a coffee and talk about how you overcame your shit. Cheers, Mads. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Nikki. And so we can sit down one day and have a coffee, and you say, hey, I was here and now I'm here. And I'll say, man, I was here and now I'm here. And we'll both smile and laugh and be like, holy shit, how good is it to live life at the next level? How good is it not settling for second best? I can't believe I was doing that. And that's what this live stream's been about. I want to thank you all so much. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Tammy. I want to thank you all so much for being here, being present. There's been over 25 live viewers the whole time, clicking on, clicking off. I trust you've taken massive value from this. And I just want to remind you that it's not just okay to talk. That's strongman talk. If you have any questions, please post them below. Any insights, anything you want to share, appreciate the honest. Thanks. Cheers, Nick. Love your work, mate. Cheers, Caleb. Any questions, put them down below. In fact, if you want to hear any more about this, if you want to hear anything about your own on creating change for your specific addiction, or anything like that, please comment it to me down below. If you don't want anyone to see it, then privately message me. And you know what? I'll put something together and we'll do this again, because I've really enjoyed it. Anything at all. Cheers so much, Gracie. Cheers, Jenny. Anything at all like that, put it together, PM me, which is a private message. Because of what I do, it's not just clients that I'm working with, but pretty much every form of dialogue I have with anybody is kept confidential in this realm, because it's how I run my business. So if you know me or not, shoot through a message. Share, let me know what it is that you'd like to hear on, and I'll deliver that for you to the best that I can. Thank you so much for being here. Love all you guys. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you so much, and have an